Minister Jean-Noël Barrot, along with his German counterpart, is in Damascus. Earlier, Barrot met with Christian religious leaders. The visit to Syria marks the first by Western powers since rebels toppled Bashar al-Assad last month. The dictator's family had ruled the country for half a century. Now, the French and German ministers will be meeting the interim Prime Minister Ahmed Al-Sharaa, who heads a government led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which is designated a terrorist organization by the European Union. With Assad gone, both Syria's new rulers and Europe see the occasion as a strategic opportunity to reset ties. For more, we can speak to our foreign editor, Philip Turle. Hello to you, Philip. Why this diplomatic rush to get to Damascus, and what are Europeans looking to get out of this?
Well, I think, first of all, France is keen to get involved at the early start of the changeover in Syria. Remember, it's only been a few weeks since Bashar al-Assad fled the country, and we have these new rulers in charge. I think there's a general feeling that the sooner that the Western nations get involved in what's going on in Syria, the better it will be, not only for Western nations, but also for the leaders of Syria and the Syrian people. France is due to host an international summit on Syria later this month. So it's important that the foreign minister of France, Jean-Noël Barrot, was joined by his counterpart from Germany, Annalena Baerbock, to go to Syria. And this is the highest level meeting of its kind so far in the Syrian capital with these two key diplomats. There have been lower level meetings since the new rulers came to power in Syria, but this is the highest level meeting going on behalf of the European Union. So I think it's important for both of those ministers to be there, to be seen with the new ruler of Syria, for two reasons. First of all, I think to put pressure on the leaders of Syria to make good on their plans to be an open and fair society and to bring in all different religious groups in the country to make this a smooth transition to peace in Syria. And secondly, I think that there really is a lot of concern in the West about where all this could go. Remember that HTS, the group leading the rebellion, or which led the rebellion in Syria, is still considered a terrorist organization by the United Nations, by the United States, and by many Western nations as well. So there is pressure on that group not to return to its Islamist basics and its links to Al-Qaeda. But I think there is concern that there is suspicion, I think, as well, that all may not be as clear as it appears to be in Syria right now, and there may be thoughts in the minds of those controlling the country that they may turn the thumb screws on what they're doing a bit later on down the line, like we've seen happening in Afghanistan, not to such a degree. But I think there's concern that the more the pressure is upped on the new leaders of Syria to make this a much more fair and free society, the better that will be for everybody concerned.
Yeah, so hopes to make it open, to make it inclusive society. But as you mentioned, there are concerns about the future of Syria under this new leadership. Tell us a bit more about what orientation you've gleaned so far for the...
Well, from what we've heard and what we've seen, the leader, Ahmed Al-Sharaa, has appeared open-minded towards bringing in all the different factions within Syria. There have been clampdowns amongst those who've been linked to Bashar al-Assad, but at the same time, there have been openings saying, well, look, all of those are welcome to be part of a new Syria. We can't exclude any particular group, including the Alawites who were supporting Bashar al-Assad in the past. So I think that is a positive move forward. I think there's also a feeling in the West that it would be good if many of the asylum seekers in the West would now return to Syria. All the Syrian asylum seekers who left the country during the Assad regime would return home. So far, there's been pressure on them to do that. But I think those asylum seekers don't want to go back until they're sure they're going to be returning to a much safer country. There is one disturbing element which has come out in the last few hours, which was a post on Facebook by those responsible in Syria about new changes to the curriculum for children between between the ages of 6 and 18, which have listed amendments known as a path to goodness, which are much more in favour of an Islamist slant to education and teaching in Syria. And I think that is an alarming situation for many in the West, and that may also explain why there's going to be increased pressure on the leaders from these two European diplomats who are there today.
All right, Philip Turle, thank you very much. France 24's foreign editor.